morning, Your Honor.
And the empowered way women can look and lead on screen.
In Massachusetts. And oh, I thought you said go. Well, hello, Cleveland, and welcome to Talk Back Live. Thank you for tuning in today. I got a very special guest with us today, all the way from Brockton, Massachusetts. The clip that you just saw there was from blackgirlfilmschool.com. Be sure, if you have an interest in acting or directing or anything like that, be sure and go to the website at blackgirlfilmschool.com. Check them out because they've got some really great information, and go to them, blackgirlfilmschool.com. Okay, so hey there. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Talk Back Live with yours truly. I've got a great show for you today. I've got a singer, songwriter, Veana Marie, straight from Brockton, Massachusetts, with us here on Talk Back Live. I'm so excited to have her on Talk Back Live. We're going to have some fun today. Be sure if you have questions, if you have comments for Veana Marie, be sure and put it in the chat so we can make sure she gets it and she can respond to your questions and or your comments. Hello, Veana Marie.
Hi there.
Hey,
How
welcome
are you
to
today,
Talk
Gloria?
Back Live. I am awesome. I'm so happy to have you with us. And I want to say this before we get started. Your career, as I look at you, is on a collision course. And it's on a collision course. You are looking at destiny straight ahead, young lady. It's on a collision course with destiny. You're about to just break wide open, and it's destiny staring you right in the face. How do you feel about that?
I feel like it has been something that when they tell you how much work it's going to take to do stuff like this, nobody really believes it. They think that they're going to cut a song and put it on YouTube and they're going to go viral and be a hit the next day without, paying their dues and doing what almost every other artist before them has done, and taken the time, invested the money, and gone through an entire process. And yeah. I feel ready. I feel like there are people that have my career on a faster track than I do. When you can set the pace, you're not overwhelmed or thrown into situations that you're not ready for. You know what I mean? And I feel like everything has happened for a reason, including COVID, including, you know, my record contract with a record label being up and me being able to be independent again. Everything happens for a reason. So I feel like I'm exactly in the right position.
And that actually is what destiny is, right? It's really beyond, it's not planning anything. It's really well, it includes planning, but you really allow things to happen as they should, right?
Right.
You don't like you said, COVID happened.
I
And
mean,
you
life
did,
happens to us all. We all run into trauma. We all run into, you know, life circumstances and financial issues and, you know, car issues. Everybody has day-to-day life problems. Everybody has bills to pay. Everybody has these issues. What makes you different is you can quit and put your primary focus on something else, or you can continue moving forward. And like, the business is crazy. Entertainment business is crazy. And there is a lot of people that do not let things roll off their back and let the things that happen within the business affect their future. And that's why a lot of people leave the business. You got to get a team and you got to get support, people that really give a crap about you.
you're on an independent label. Now you're a singer, you're a songwriter, you're on an independent label. Tell the viewers out there, why did you choose to go independent?
Well, I'm not on a label at all. I distribute my music through DistroKid, which a lot of artists these days are doing. 4 years ago, when I started to distribute online, before I had started vetting labels, DistroKid was the best option. You know, you had DistroKid, you had TuneCore, you had CD Baby, you have all these different online distribution companies out there that are trying to make money off of artists while also help artists. So you have to basically pick the best one that works for you. And DistroKid has all the right elements, and they upgrade every 2 months. Things change in this business, and they're right on top of or ahead of the curve.
Right. Now you're managed by my producer. So let me make sure I introduce again here my producer, which is your manager, Keith Hayes. He hails also from Brockton, Massachusetts. And I know how good he is at producing talk shows. Okay. But tell the viewers out there how good he is at being your manager in the music
He's a phenomenal
industry.
manager. He's organized and really helps keep me on focus on the things that I need to get done, the things that are expected of me. Professionalism in this business is lost on a lot of people. And like the fact of the matter is I'm not from corporate America. I'm from the hood. Like, I'm from the streets. So yes, I was raised in Hyannis, but I was raised in Hyannis in foster care. So the context of where I was raised, it always gets confused in my life and my lifestyle, and the reason that I talk about the things that I talk about and do the things that I need to. Having somebody like Keith really balances you out. Look, there is no more difficult person on the planet to work with than me. So at the end of the day, anybody that can put up with me can put up with anything and deal with anything. He's great under pressure. He knows when to quit. And you know what I mean? Like, you cannot, there's a reason why he produces multiple shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Finding the right team is detrimental to any artist's career. You have to have the right people on your team. And if you don't have good communication skills, if you don't listen, if you're too hard-headed and too bullheaded, you lose people.
Right.
So I'm trying not to lose good people.
Right. I understand. I second that. He's a great guy to work with, and dealing with women. I'm sure he's got his own story. He could share it some other time.
Oh, I'm sure.
About how it is to work with us gals.
I'm gonna have to get him to sign an NDR after this.
But yeah, that's good stuff. Absolutely. You have to have someone that balance you. That's for sure. So let's talk about your passion for music, because you shared that you grew up in the urban area. It shows through your music. I've listened to some of your music. Tell us about your passion for the music.
Well, it's funny because I started in music because of my dyslexia, my learning disability. And so when I was in foster care with my aunt, she, was in the church. So we got, first of all, I started with the trombone, but I'm very short. So my arms didn't have the kind of reach that it took to hit all those notes. So they said, all right, let's put a trumpet in her hands. And at the time, my favorite aunt, she was a trumpet player. So she ended up giving me her trumpet. And then I actually thrived in that environment with being an instrumentalist. Learning how to read a whole different language was, interesting to me. And it worked my brain so that it forced me to read things correctly. And that's why they utilize music. And like the Save the Music programs were so important, back in the day, because you don't understand how beneficial it is to teach somebody to read music when it helps them read. The dyslexia is bad. It still is an issue to this day, but I can read, I'm articulate, I can go in front of cameras and in front of people and speak. And there was a time where I couldn't do that. So music pretty much is the reason why I am able to do the things that I'm doing.
I was trying to think, listening to you there, of some of the other artists who are dyslexia that became famous. Can you think of any?
I'm sure the list is long because, music is a healer for a lot of ailments, not just being able to read music, but, being able to listen to it and absorb it and allow it to wash over you and take things away. Music means different things to different people, and everybody uses it for their own purposes. You have to be able to understand that as an artist, making a relatable project doesn't just mean the lyrical content.
Right.
You know what I mean? How good does this project flow? You know what I mean?
Right.
How, basically, what's the feng shui of, a 6-song project?
Yeah.
Where are you going with this? You know what I mean? How do you make people feel when they listen to your music? As an artist, these are questions that you, as the artist, should be asking. Your label is not going to be asking those questions. They want to know about the bottom line. They want to know about where the money's going to come from and how you're going to, attract the larger audience. You as the artist have to learn how to relate to your audience.
Right. How long have you been singing now?
Oh, no. When I was learning how to play instruments, I was also in choirs. I've been participating in vocal competitions and professional choirs since I was a child. They'd come to the school, they'd audition all the kids, and then they'd put us in, a classroom and record us. So, dating back to, I was in the 80s, I'm an 80s baby. So we were doing stuff like that. And that's why my aunt used music as a tool to help me with all the trauma of what ended up, putting us in foster care in the first place. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we were lucky because there was 4 of us. And my aunt taking us in was what made it so that we didn't get split up. Because just imagine that trauma on top of the trauma that put us there. It would have just been a mess. So if it wasn't for my aunt and it wasn't for the music, I wouldn't be standing here. Yeah.
Well, thank God for your aunt. We're about to go on a break, and we're going to come back on the other side. We're going to talk more with Veana Marie, songwriter and singer from Brockton, Massachusetts. She's on the brink of history and making history. And we're going to talk a bit about her family. We're going to talk about her cooking, because she's a great cook, I hear, and I see her on social media with all these great recipes and everything. So we're going to talk more about that. Make sure if you have a question or comment for this great young lady, this great singer and entertainer, make sure you put the questions and or comments in the chat. We'll make sure that she gets them, and we'll catch you on the other side. Stay tuned.
I ain't never been betrayed by an enemy. That shit is only ever come from them saying friend to me. They so thought you was coming, but you been hiding behind all them friends. You just wanna play here, make it. So many times I played the fool and man held below. I'm too fly to be sitting here lonely, feeling for the ride, wanna put it on me. When you get inside and when I grind it, I can't deny it, feels so exciting, deeper.
Is no result.
Welcome back to TalkBack Live, and I do thank you for tuning in. We haven't seen us in a bit there, but we do have a great show for you today on TalkBack Live. I have singer-songwriter Veana Marie from Brockton, Massachusetts, and we did have what you just saw there is she has a new album coming up. Actually, the release date is August the 13th. Be sure and look out for that. It's called It's Personal, and the release date is August 13th. She also has a release party coming up in her local area there in Brockton, Massachusetts, and that will also be on August the 13th. So look out for that. Look out for Veana Marie and her music. You can catch her music on Apple Music and everywhere that music is released now on all social platforms. Be sure and check this young lady out. You will not be disappointed. She's got some great music, great lyrics, just great music all around. So be sure and look out for her. Veana, I wanted to talk before we actually get into some of the other things about your cooking, your family, and things like that. What got you into songwriting? Because you write a lot of your own songs. Talk to us about that.
I only have of my catalog, which is over 50 completed tracks. I only have 2 songs where I either sang somebody else's lyrics or they helped me write a song. So I think that as an artist, you know, I'm not about the business end. I feel like where my strengths are, because I've had the business, I've had the label, I've had to worry about all that. And I'm to the point where as the artist, I want to make sure that my product is of quality. I don't want to be rushing around getting things done because I didn't have time to practice because I'm running to do this and I'm running to do that. You know what I mean? So being able to hone in and, you know, take the time to write and that's what I've been talking about in interviews. COVID was great because you had time to, in a guilt-free manner, focus on your career. And as a parent, everything that I do in music, it carries around a level of guilt because everybody looks at what we do as artists as a hobby and not like a career. Because if I was starting a business like a hair salon, everybody would look at it differently. You know what I mean? So it's been a lot of using the songwriting as a way to work through a lot of emotional things that I've gone through, because in the past, that's not really what I was doing. My very first project, the reason why this record is called It's Personal is because I started writing music again to heal after leaving a very, very horrible situation. And I didn't know what I needed at the time. And I got in contact with an old friend who made beats. And I said, can you just send me like 10 tracks so I have something to do? And from there, I was able to get all of that anxiety and angst out. Everything that I had been bottling up for 7 years was just coming out the other end of that pen. That is the worst album that I have ever cut. It is horrible, but I wasn't thinking about songwriting and I wasn't thinking about structure. I was just thinking about releasing. And that's what I understand about that now, and the difference between then and now, that this album is very personal. It's very, very personal. Literally a name could go on every single track. But as an artist and as a writer, I've grown and I've matured and my skills have just multiplied and multiplied, that this is not a direct shot kind of album. Unless you know me personally, you're not going to know who these songs are about. And that's the idea of making things relatable to a vast audience, not just a specific group.
Interesting. Yeah. And that's doesn't sound unusual. I think a lot of singers, songwriters take take from the same picture. I mean, they draw from the same well there. Let's talk about your family. You've got a great family there. You got. Let's talk about your family and how this has drawn you closer to your family.
I don't know where you heard that. I'll tell you like
I mean
this.
your kids, because
With
you've
my
got
children,
Yeah.
the whole thing with my family situation is so tenuous that the only people that are really my primary focus in my family are my kids,
Yeah.
my aunt, my grandmother. These
Yeah.
are people that, they're in the most close proximity to me. But the problem is a lot of the times, and we find as entertainers, that you don't get the full support of your family and friends. And this career is difficult, and people have an opinion on your life, and they choose to take a stance on that life, and then they choose to cut off communication, or make things hard, or don't really show support in the ways that you need them. Like I said, if I was in nursing school, I'd have the entire full backing of my family. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes you're the only one that can see your vision, and that's okay. That's okay. I have, managed to make it through every single obstacle thus far. And
Yeah.
I'm still happy and still together.
Yeah.
And my mental health is on track and on par. And that's
Yeah.
the only thing that I ever wanted for my children. I didn't want trauma to affect their lives the way that it had affected my life.
Of course, yeah. How many children do you have?
Oh, Gloria, I have 5 children.
Do you? You got 5?
do.
And how many girls, how many boys?
I have 2 girls, they're twins, and I have 3 boys.
Oh, wow. You got twin girls. How about
I do.
that? That is awesome. Now, your cooking has to be fabulous, because I see you on social media. You're always invited, because you have a lot of, parties. Really, you have a lot of release parties. I've seen tons of
We
them.
have a lot of events lately. Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of events.
Tell us about your cooking.
Well, the cooking coincides with the fact that I kind of, I've beat the pavement. I've done the open mic nights, and I've done all that. And now hosting them is a different level of what I was doing before. And I like the fact that I'm not going in and I'm having to rehearse a set, before I have to go in and perform something. I can go in and enjoy introducing other people and researching other artists. And
Right.
at the same time, I know that food is a way to get people to come out. If you offer free food, you're 20% more likely to get people to come out, because they know they're going to at least get a free meal. You know what I mean? So that being the case, and I had all of these children that I what I like to say is, I'm not a great cook. I am a home cook, which means I've been cooking for over 20 years. So I know a thing or two about what I'm doing in the kitchen. I can cook for big groups. There are things that I don't do that I ask my girlfriends to do. You know what I mean? I play on my strengths. So, if you take your time, you follow a good recipe, you can pretty much make anything happen. It's not like I'm whipping up recipes in my kitchen. I'm going on Google like everybody else. I'm YouTubing stuff, and I'm just trying to recreate what I see. I want everybody to have a good taste in their mouth when they leave an event, not just from who I am, but whatever you ate.
What's some of the favorite things that you're hearing about a lot of the folks that attend your media parties? What do they like best?
Well, I do a lot of empanadas. We're in Massachusetts, so you've got a lot of people from a lot of the different islands living here in the state. Empanadas is across the board on damn near everybody's culture list of great food. I just recommend, if you're gonna put your food out there, don't do it like you're doing it at home with, grease you've used 3 times. Make sure you got fresh grease and you don't have old shit to be putting out for people. You know what I mean? And I find that a lot of people are lazy. Don't be lazy. If you're going to do anything, do it the best.
Right.
If you mess it up, throw it away. Don't.
Yeah, my mom taught me that.
You know what I mean?
Give
Like, this
best.
is a business. The only way that people are going to take you seriously is if you take you seriously.
Right. I just got a message here. Them buffalo chicken empanadas are fire.
Yes, they were pretty good. They were pretty good.
Yeah. So again, I really want to say kind of wrapping up towards the end of the show here, that you're on a course with destiny, young lady, and I wish you simply nothing but the best. And you're on the right track, and you've got the right manager, certainly. And just keep keep pressing forward, and keep your faith intact. And you're going to be just fine. In your making the media circuit, I see you're making the tours. You're everywhere, giving all the interviews that you need to give. And certainly now you're appeared on TalkBack Live. So you're doing all the things that you need to do. And I want to thank you for appearing on TalkBack Live today.
I appreciate you for having me, Gloria.
Oh, I enjoyed it. No, my pleasure. By the way, Sugar the Stage Play will be premiering its premiere show at the John P. Murphy Foundation Theater. That's going to be at Community College, Tri-C Community College, the Metro campus. And that will be September 17th for one show only. That's at 7:00 p.m. So be sure, go to eventbrite.com and pick up your tickets while you can. Tickets are going, so you don't want to miss your opportunity to see this fantastic play production. It's called Sugar the Stage Play. It is a fantastic production, if I do say so myself, and it's creating quite a buzz here in the city of Cleveland. We will be appearing on Cribs and the CLE. We will be taping at the end of this month. It will air sometime thereafter. We will also be, Sugar the Stage Play will be featured on PBS coming up here in the city of Cleveland. Be sure and look out for that. And be sure to pick up your tickets. Eventbrite.com. Do not miss this show. You will not regret it, I promise you. If you have questions about tickets, you can call 216-394-8926. That's 216-394-8926. Thank you for tuning in to TalkBack Live, and be sure, and we will be back. I'm not sure when. Actually, we're going to have the cast of Sugar the Stage Play on our next show. We're going to feature the entire cast. We're going to have them on. We're going to have some fun with those guys, and you'll get a chance to eyeball the cast of Sugar the Stage Play. We're going to have them coming up sometime within the next couple of weeks. We've got to get their schedule together and see when they are available. And you'll get a chance to meet Sugar. You'll get a chance to meet Lola. You'll get a chance to meet Renee, Remy Martin, Local, the cast of Sugar the Stage Play. I'm so excited to bring that production to the city of Cleveland. And you do not, I repeat, you do not want to miss this production. We've been working extremely hard. My director, who is Joseph Billups here in the city of Cleveland, I've got a great director, and actually they're in rehearsals as we speak. So you do not want to miss Sugar the Stage Play. Pick up your tickets, eventbrite.com. Thank you for tuning in to TalkBack Live for another great show. Thank you, Veana Marie. We were going to look out for your music on all the social platforms. By the way, tell the viewers where they can pick up your music.
You can catch me on any social media site. You can catch me on any streaming site. You can catch me at my website. It's Veana Marie anywhere. All you have to do is type it into your Google space bar and it'll find me.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, sir, for another great show. Until next time, America.
Stay at the top of my game, can't fuck with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the same. I'm who you wanna be. I go hard each and every day, never miss a beat. Not I mean, you gon' regret the day you ever stepped to me. Better respect the queen. Oh no, it's me back up in this shit again. Thought you was coming, but you been hiding behind all them friends. Niggas wanna play with me, niggas wanna play for free. Wanna pass, then get played for free. I'ma pass cause they already know that I'm good when I say I be. Now, but you never know, wanna play with me. Always smiling in your face with the fakery. You wanna talk about the last, but don't play with me. I'm real, you shit you tryna say to me. You tryna stay with me. I'ma call like I see it, then believe it, cause you're not who y'all claim to be. Recouping all my investments, I don't play for free. Said I was weak and I was stressed, but wanna lay with V. Please. No, how you gon' come for me? Stay at the top of my game, can't fuck with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the same. I'm who you wanna be. I go hard each and every day, never miss a beat. Not I mean, you gon' regret the day you ever stepped to me. Better respect the queen. Oh no, how you gon' come for me? Stay at the top of my game, can't fuck with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the same. I'm who you wanna be. I go hard each and every day, never miss a beat. Nah, not me. You gon' regret the day you ever stepped to me. Better respect the queen. Motherfuckers when they run their mouth, got a lot to say when I'm not around. Soon as I pop out, they all hush hush like the cricket sound. They demeanor so blatant, can tell that they hating. Wanna see me fall with too bad, y'all be waiting. I come from a place you have yet to see. Fuck around and turn boss on and flex on me. I don't wish no bad on my enemies, but cross the line and it's 113. Slicing heads like a horror scene, murking them Jason. Each time I go hard, it's to offset the hate. Who slimy, they slither, ain't no hands to shake. Go your applause, your respect, I'ma take. I'm far from a rookie, they trolling, they looking, feeling froggy. No one, my killer, don't push me. How you gon' come for me? Stay at the top of my game, can't fuck with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the same. I'm who you wanna be. I go hard each and every day, never miss a beat. Nah, not me. You gon' regret the day you ever stepped to me. Better respect the queen.
Everyone's a boss. Everyone's in charge. Everyone got stacks upon stacks of them green and golden balls. Placed neatly in the back of their closet, stacked up they feet up walls. Be around the prettiest bitches you seen and you'd ever call. Yeah, can't pay for features or models, can't even pay for cars. Wanna talk about running the city, but can't even run the malls. Paying with these checks with their mouths, they asses steady taking falls. Kept they up and ducking till V connected in they balls. Now I'm speaking crying and whining, got me here taking pause. Make me get a non-disclosure for interacting with every clause. I'm number one also with these niggas, they playing dodge. My moves stay like years ahead, your moves have been recalled. Try to be a better me, I'm begging for an applause. Thinking I'm weak and forgetting I'm holding all these cards. With these receipts and not one of your bitches half as hard. No capping needed, the truth's revealed here in all this side.
Oh no, how you gon' come for me? Stay at the top of my game, can't fuck with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the same. I'm who you wanna be. I go hard each and every day, never miss a beat. Nah, not me. You gon' regret the day you ever stepped to me. Better respect the queen. Oh no, how you gon' come for me? Stay at the top of my game, can't fuck with me. You know, when it comes to the game, we don't move the